What's good, everybody? This is Preston, lifelong adventurer and travel YouTuber.
And I'm Ryan, the travel photographer, here to capture moments worth saving.
And this is Adventures with Pictures podcast, bringing all those travel tips,
horror stories,
and just all-around travel experiences. This is your podcast to soften those travel blues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Now let's get started and hear from our guest today.
Hey, what's going on, folks? It's Ryan from Adventures with Pictures, and I got the homeboy, Daryl, aka Take Off with Daryl. Fun stuff on Instagram. If you're not following, please, I highly suggest following. What's going on with you, Daryl?
Not much, man. We're out here just living life, man.
Cool. That's what I like to hear. Man. I know for me, I had a pretty lazy weekend at first, but the punctuation of it is I was able to go to Baton Rouge, which I'm currently in right now. So I've just been going a little bit overboard with some of the beignets, some biscuits, some alcohol, stuff like that. Things like that, man. So how was your weekend, first off?
Nah, man, weekend was cool, man. One of my frat brothers, he had a baby shower this weekend, and then from there we ended up going to homecoming. I didn't even know it was homecoming this weekend at St. Mark. So I'm like, hey, yo, we heading homecoming after this. I'm like, wait, what? Like, yeah, bro, you ain't roll? I'm like, I'm like, all right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And like, so it was just like that whole day just kind of ran off. It was a good weekend.
Yeah. So you kind of getting old when you forget when the homecoming is. Like I went to Morgan, and I can't tell you when homecoming is for Morgan this year. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely can relate to that. So I hope that felt like a good time. And baby showers is always dope, always a good time, things of that nature. Did they do the whole pink, blue, baby reveal thing or anything like that?
No, like they already announced that it was a boy. They just had blue and gold as the colors and everything. It was beautiful.
Okay. All right. Well, my man. Well, as I mentioned, man, once again, I was, you're the first person that came to mind when the topics rang off, and I would just love to just pick your brain about it. Once again, big fan of your Instagram, and one thing I do notice on occasions you'll indulge in like the solo trip here and there. And so I figured, who better to ask than Daryl? I just want to know, like, in your opinion, like, what are some pros and some cons about solo travel?
I'll say really like the pros about it, like you really learn yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's only you, so you're making all the decisions, you're coming up with everything, you know what I'm saying? Then also on a security level, it's also just you too. So definitely like it's I would say pro wise, like it really gives you that sense of adventure. It's like, like it's completely different. Like I mean, that's how I got into the travel game was through group trips, and then switching it up to when I went solo, I was like, it's completely different. You know what I'm saying? So definitely I would say the pros is like again, like you'll learn more about yourself. Definitely like far as like the exploring part, it's just it's almost like exploring the unknown, because it really is like, even though it's known to you, it's just like doing stuff by yourself. Like it's a whole different type of feeling. Now, like I was saying, now as far as the cons, like I was saying on the security level, like depending on where you're going, because if you're going to, I mean, like you ain't gotta leave the States, you know what I mean? Like if you go into certain areas and you by yourself and and it shows that you're by yourself, somebody might see you as an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So, and then that's the only con I can really think about it. I mean, other than if someone is really social, you know what I'm saying? You have to have somebody, then it'll be definitely different, because you might go into a space to where people aren't as social, so it's like if you're that person, like, oh, I always have to have somebody with me, like you might feel a little bit of anxiety, in my opinion. But typically, like when you go on solo tripping and stuff, like typically like you're running the cool people, you know what I'm saying? Then before you know it, like you'll end up you may tag along with them, like for the remainder of the trip, and then exchange contacts and stuff. So
okay, yeah, I feel. Well, one thing I know for me personally, I do definitely think like solo travel, one of the pros for me is I do agree with you. You kind of just add excitement of just exploring. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I'm here with my wife for Baton Rouge, but like on previous trips when I went to like someplace, I went to like LA by myself, and it was just fun doing like the smaller stuff. Like I went to like just like restaurants, like my first time trying what's it called? Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I always rant and rave about the place every time I go to LA. And I went there like off the solo travel. Met some cool people. Mess around. They schooled me to Randy's Donuts. I mean, I've heard about it, but I didn't know how good it was until someone pulled me to that direction. So it's like the small stuff, even like the small stuff becomes like a dope adventure.
Right.
Now to your point with the security thing, like because you're by yourself, do you kind of like, you know, prevent yourself from like maybe doing a lot of solo travel at night, for example?
I mean, honestly, like I just pretty much like I'm always like ever vigilant, like in any type of environment. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's just like I always just read the crowds and read the environment. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever I am. You know, so it's like if I get that gut feeling like, hey, like something ain't right, I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I don't second guess it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this ain't feeling right. Nah, like I'm out. So like that's how I have gone about it. I mean, I haven't had any issues like solo traveling. So,
Yeah.
but but I would say like if someone were to like if they're thinking about solo traveling, I would definitely say like any situation, one, definitely trust your gut feeling, and two, don't do anything that you wouldn't do stateside. You know what I'm saying? If you're
Mm.
traveling abroad.
True. I like that. I think in comparison, like with like group travel or anything else like that, I do think in comparison, one of the other benefits for me is, you're the main one making the decisions. You don't have to rely on anyone else making the decisions. I remember one time I used to go to like bike week, down in Myrtle Beach, Black Bike Week to be more specific. And like sometimes, sometimes like the night is kind of young. You got like maybe 6, 7 folks just all in one room, and we're like, yo, where's the move tonight? And then it's like 6, 7 different options. And and it's you ended up, you're clashing, you're like, nah, I don't want to do that. So sometimes I think just for that comparison alone, I do like that part of like solo travel. It's like I don't have to, debate with anybody on my going about, what I'm saying? So I do like that part. So what's your best so far, at least, what has been your best solo travel experience?
I only had two, and I went to the mountains here in North Carolina. That's where I started off at. Like went to Beach Mountain, like did a whole ski trip by myself. You know what I'm saying? And it was again different. You know what I'm saying? And in the mountains, like it's not too many of us, like especially in the area I was at. So
Yeah.
definitely had gotten what I'm saying, the stairs and stuff like that. Like I almost felt like it was wild. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting over here like this is my first time like actually being in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been there like for an event like back in high school, but other than that, never went. But it was like it was definitely different. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely say on that scale, like overall, I had a complete blast. Because again,
Mhm.
like by myself, got my own snowboard out there,
Mhm.
like tripping on my own. Like I mean, I had a ball. So real
Oh.
fun. My other solo trip was Abu Dhabi, and I had planned to go back.
Mm.
Before the pandemic had hit, but that I would definitely say was an experience in itself because I never expected like a city to be that safe. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like last I checked, it was like the crime rate was like point 0.8, 0.5, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because like their government is, also like, governed by their religion. So, like they got a whole other ball game when it comes to crime and things like of that nature out there. So
Mm.
definitely like, I mean, because I did have a friend out there.
Mhm.
It was like we had linked up for she had introduced me to her friends that was out there, like the other expats, and then we went over to Dubai the next day. And after that, I was on my own,
Oh.
and yeah, so it was so definitely like it was just a completely different vibe. And like she was telling me, she was like, look, she was like, you can just wander the city, like nobody's gonna bother you. I'm like, pause. I'm like, just wander the city. She's like, yeah, just wander the city. And I legit did it. It was like, yo, like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it was. I would
Mhm.
definitely say destination definitely has a lot to do with it, like wherever that you're going. But I mean, like I was intrigued so much by the culture, like I just wanted to go back just because like it was just different, not because I was like wanting to be there because of the culture. No, it was just seeing the different, like I said, seeing a different society ran in that manner.
Mhm.
It was just completely different, and I just wanted to like just observe it a little bit more.
Oh, damn. Okay, so I imagine being that hopefully things are trying to calm down. Like, do you plan on like when do you think your best bet is to try to get back over there to Abu Dhabi?
Honestly, I was thinking like probably like next year.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm not like I'm not too much in the news, but it's like some of the things that they are saying, they're saying like the quote unquote new normal may come next year, you know. So definitely we'll see. But other than that, like I'm not doing too much, you know what I'm saying? Like at the moment. So I'm gonna wait till like, you know, whatever happens is gonna happen, and then next year we'll probably like pick it back up.
Okay, yeah. I definitely feel you. Now, just to backtrack a little bit, when you did the ski trip, did you? I know, like one of the things you said, you ran into some cool people and stuff like that. Like, even though people looked at you kind of weird at first, because you kind of stood out, did you end up running into like a cool crowd at some point? Somebody got a little more friendly with you, or not?
You know what I'm saying? Like, now that I mean, cool conversations, maybe like, you know, nice conversation in the restaurant I was going to.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, nah, it was Martin Luther King weekend. So
Okay.
I went, no, it was after Martin Luther King week. No, yeah, before. So it was that Wednesday before MLK week. So yeah, like, I mean, I was out there. I mean, like when I was at the slopes, it was pretty much like it was a big old I want to say it was like a school or something, like maybe like they did like a field trip or like maybe like a weekend trip or something. But
yeah,
as far as like other people like around my age or things like that, I mean, of course I couldn't see them because, you know, everybody's geared up, you know. So as far as like, you know, meeting people out there, like, nah, I really didn't.
Okay, all right. Well, shoot. Well, that brings me to my next question. Because, well, first of all, I know I'm sure you took a lot of photos and such of that with both solo trips, which brings us to the point. Do you think? I know one thing is you're definitely great content on your Instagram and stuff like that. But do you think when you travel, is there such a thing as too much social media while you're traveling?
I would definitely say like it's levels to it, because some people do get paid for like, you know, being influencers and things like that. So I wouldn't definitely say too much, but I would definitely say like some people have, you know, like different intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like far as like some people like traveling just to certain destinations, so they have, you know, I would say a better chance of going viral or getting posted to this page, you know, getting a little bit of like, you know, a following and things of that nature. I'm not knocking it, you know what I'm saying? Like my last trip at Planet Hollywood, that's all I was seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like people that they were literally like out there for about like like we was just out there chilling and drinking. And then I want to at least say those out there for like 30, 45 minutes, like at the water, at the beach, doing every TikTok challenge out there, and they were getting every photo out there. So I'm like, y'all better get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm encouraging the bull. You know what I'm saying? I can't even sit here and lie. You know, like I guess because like, you know, everybody got their level of fun. Like, so I'm not gonna knock it, you know, but I would definitely say like, you know, because matter of fact, I had this conversation not so long ago, and yeah, like I would definitely say I would say probably like in the past, I would say maybe like like maybe 2-3 years. Like that's when I started noticing the shift. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, you know, travel is starting to like when it comes to social media, it's starting to get more about going to popular destinations versus kind of like, you know, doing your own thing. Because it's like everybody's going to like this one area in order to get that one photo so they can get that post. You know what I'm saying? Like that's more and more what I'm seeing. So
you mean like a Tulum, for example, or something like that?
Yeah, like I mean, like from Tulum to Greece, you know, what was it? Indonesia, you know. It's just like, you know, like they want to get that perfect photo, you know. And again, like I don't knock it, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like way I travel, it's like, I mean, I do get my photos too, you know. It's like I'll show like, you know, people some love. I'm like, hey, yo, we live. Like, you haven't been here. This is what you should do. This, that, you know, like definitely. But I also put my phone away too. I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna drain my battery, you know, because I also want to be able to live in the moment too. So I make sure I have like a balanced approach when it comes to that.
Yeah, you know, and that's one of the reasons I had this conversation not too long ago with some other folks, you know, good friends of mine, and that's why I brought it up. We had that conversation, and I was like, one of my fears is a strong word, but one of the things I'm concerned about is I think we're getting away from actually just embracing whatever moment you're at. Like, for example, if you go to the Grand Canyon or, you know, one of the many wonders of the world, things of that nature, I do feel like sometimes we can get to that point where you're just too focused on getting that perfect angle, the shot compositions, the filters, all this other jazz. And then like if someone asks you, hey man, like, tell me more about it. Tell me more about such and such detail about the actual place you went. I feel like because you're so focused, you could actually forget about that moment that you actually embraced. So like, let me ask you another question, related to social media and vacations and stuff like that. Do you feel like, well, first of all, just yes, no question first. Have you ever been selected by one of your friends or even a stranger to be like, hey, you look like you take nice photos. Can you take a photo of me? Have you been a photographer? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So have you ever, like my friend, Preston, he's a big travel guy, stuff like that. His wife travels with him a lot. His wife is damn near like a professional photographer at this point because she takes like 1,000 pictures of my man. So has it came to a point where someone asked you to, like in your back of your head, like, yo, you're asking me to take too many photos. You got to calm down. Have you ever been in that situation?
Actually, I haven't, because I normally get it right the first time. Like I get it right the first few times. Like I legit like hit like a few angles, like some of the angles like I know that most people are looking for.
Mhm.
And I'll just like, I'll pretty much like, especially if it's like an iPhone or something, like I'll just go nuts with the camera. I'm like, hey, this is a whole photo blast, so you got many angles to choose from. There it is, and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what typically happens. I'm like, I'm on my way, so I haven't had that experience yet. I mean, but I can imagine, if somebody did have that type of experience, like how annoying that would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So have you been on the other side of that spectrum? Like someone was taking photos of you and you're like, hey man, you know what? My angles ain't right. Can you do this again? Have you been that guy?
I've only it was Abu Dhabi. I think I had asked like maybe like 2 or 3 more photos because like the guy was only, like just taking 1 or 2. So I was like, hey, like just snap a few of them. And that was it, because like my man like legit had like his own like camera on him. So
okay.
So like, the guy knew what he was doing, but I was just like letting him know. He was like, oh okay, I got you, and just took care of it, So
yeah, I feel you. Well, Dag, well, you know what? Also when it comes to this like like the social media platform, is there like like do you like in your head, do you kind of already plan out what type of content you're focusing on? Like maybe like let's say weeks in advance, you're going to a destination. Is it like, do you already have like a blueprint in your head? Like, all right, I know I want to see this. I know I want to get X, Y, and Z. Do you have like that, or do you just kind of just go with the flow, kind of freestyling when you go on your trips?
typically like I at least have an outline.
Okay.
I at least have an outline because like now because I want to do more on my YouTube because like, all the compilations that I do have, like I know like they'll get like people look for that stuff on YouTube, and like even some of the like amateur stuff I had put up there, like I did a video of just the walkthrough of the property at Planet Hollywood. So it's stuff like that that I knew people were looking for. So it's kind of like it's kind of like one of those moments to where it's like it's sporadic, like because that morning I think like I got up like I was still getting up super early, like 6 a.m., 5:45 type deal. And I was just like, shoot, I'm like, I'm up. I already got food. I'm like, everything else ain't opening up until then. I'm like, let me walk around here real quick. That's literally like, that's just how it happened, So I'll definitely say like for, content wise, sometimes like like I will have like somewhat of an outline because I know what people are looking for typically. Like you want to know like what type of property it is. Like like of course like pricing is going to be in there, but they can just it all depends on who they go through. Where they have their own travel agent, where they use a service or whatever. But typically always like, what is it like? You know what I'm saying? Like how was the service? Like what did you do there that you like the most? So I kind of go ahead and like grab those moments, and make sure like I get those moments in my compilation. So if people make a decision to go to that property or go to that destination, like they have a good idea or a good general idea of what to expect.
Got you. All right. Well, in continuation with that, right? So I know earlier you said like, well, most people that they try to go to these popular places that, like you said, your Greece and everywhere else that are more known. Like when you go through your process of like selecting a destination, do you have that in mind, or do you just be like, you know what, I know this is the popular location, but I'm gonna do my own thing because I'm really curious about, I don't know, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I know that's not the popping spot that people are going to, but I'm going to Albuquerque because I myself, Daryl, I'm just interested in seeing what Albuquerque is about.
Shoot, typically, honestly, like typically, like it'll be like some of my friends, like we'll just get together and like it's like, hey, like we're going, like I'm trying to go to such and such. I'm trying to go to such and such. It's like, yo, let's do it, because matter of
Mhm.
fact, like I know a friend of mine, like she had messaged me not too long ago. She was like she had booked yacht week for
Mm.
next. You know what I'm saying? And like me and my boy was talking about that, so it's things like that to where it's like, yo, like he was like, yo, dude, like I have not been to yacht week. I'm like, bro, let's roll. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it typically rolls. It's kind of like a destination that we want to go to, or it's like on our bucket list. So popularity like typically doesn't have anything to do with it, because end of the day, like I'm all about the experience. I'm all about, especially like, getting to the local scenes, and
Yeah.
then immersing myself in the local culture. Like that's more important than anything else, you know what I'm saying? Besides getting like a viral photo or anything, you know what I'm saying? Because to me, it's like, if I can connect with people that's local and I can always go back to that place knowing I have a contact there, that's way more important to me versus having a photo that's going to get like 1,000, 3,000 likes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, I never did any type of content for the likes. You know what I'm saying? It was always for the value. So
Okay, I like it. So once again, for you, it's just about experience over popularity. I want the experience, stuff like that. Okay. Now, well, and maybe I'm a rookie when it comes to certain things, certain travel things. But can you briefly explain like Yacht Week? That sounds lit. I never heard about Yacht
I'm
Week
still
before.
learning about it. I can't even like I knew nothing about it. Like my
Uh,
boy had brought it up to me because he had moved down from New York and now he's back in Charlotte. So we were just talking about it. Him, his cousin, and a friend of theirs that they met. And yeah, like basically from what I see, it's kind of like people rent out like a yacht and they have like these destinations, and some at those destinations at different ports, like they have parties and stuff. People sleep on the boat. And then at certain times, like they connect all the boats together and like people just mingle and stuff. Like, I mean, that's the synapses that I gotten from it, like from the videos I've seen on YouTube. But all around it, man, it look lit as hell. That's why I'm like, yo, I gotta go. I'm like, I gotta go.
Hell yeah, that sounds. You know what? It reminds me of like the whole Super Bowl party when like the Bucks won. Like they had like a big yacht parade and all that type of fancy stuff. So
Right.
I'm not a Bucks fan, but even that yacht Super Bowl party looked lit. So
Yeah.
I got to get it. Well, shoot, well, once again, I really appreciate you just taking time just to kick it with us. And one of the things that we always like to do is I want to just, for those who are, come across this page and stuff like that, we always want to show our appreciation and gratitude towards our guests. Can you just let anybody know like your YouTubes, your Instagram, just anything you want to promote or plug?
I mean, typically, like I'm found on Instagram and YouTube. Take off with Daryl, DARYL. That's where you can find me at. And yeah, like the only thing I'm all about is just putting out content that comes from the heart. That's it.
Okay.
It's just just genuine stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me apologize in advance, but I might put you on the spot on this. Like, I would love maybe like, I know it'll be your third time. I would love for you to maybe like circle back whenever you get a free time, and I would love to hear more about that solo trip to Abu Dhabi, because I've never been. I hear so much good things about it. You're one of the favorite travel people that I follow on Instagram. So I would love if you can make it to maybe come back and like explain that one time.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Because honestly, it's like things are kind of like personal life is kind of like slowing up because like I've switched careers, so like now I'm like full-time entrepreneur. So like now I've kind of gotten all of like the kinks worked out and everything. Now it's kind of like, okay, now I can kind of slow down, get my bearings right. So now I don't have to like be like 80, 70 hours a week like I was grinding in the beginning. That shit failed. Like I can't lie. It was hell, man.
Oh, believe me, me and my home, but we still trying to get to that level where it's that rat race can be kind of hectic, man. So sometimes because I can relate to the 40 plus hours a week for sure. So that's why I'm trying to definitely get behind it. So I'm rooting for you, man. And hey, if there's anything you want to promote, for entrepreneur wise or something that I could like retweet or anything, man, just shoot me a message, man. You got my number, my contacts. I would love to support positive people of color who are doing positive things, especially in the travel realm. So I appreciate your time, bro.
Definitely, fam.
Cool. All right, peace. Signing out.